Hey everyone, welcome to the Guiding You Forward podcast presented by Mountain America Credit Union. Today we're talking about tips for first-time homebuyers. But before we get into those, make sure you subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell so you can get all our future content as well. Thankfully, today we've got Carl with us. Hi, Carl.
How you doing?
So good.
Good.
So what are some of those strategies that first-time homebuyers can incorporate into this?
So I think knowing what you can afford, it's really taking the time to make sure you're comfortable with a payment level. What you see with first-time home buyers is it can be overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
You don't anticipate some things that will come up. Life happens to everyone. Being prepared up front, asking a lot of questions, understanding what you need versus what you want. But I really think to just being to the point where you don't overextend yourself. It's easy to get wrapped up in a bidding war. It's easy to get excited about the thought of not renting anymore and having your own space. But try to stay within those guides that you can operate within. I do think that there's nothing more exciting than a first-time homeowner.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch the idea become reality. So it's very exciting. I think it's just you've got to ask a lot of questions, seek advice, and know what your limitations are.
What can we do? Let's say we're first-time home buyers here for a minute. What could I do to be better prepared? Aside from asking those questions and seeking that advice, any tips that you have for those that are really looking into buying that first home this year? Yeah.
So there are some lenders, and again, it would depend on, you certainly want to put yourself in the best credit situation that you can.
Okay.
You want to make sure you may or may not have credit. If you're a first-time homeowner and maybe have limited to no credit, there are lenders that can help. But it could be daunting, again, in that payment shock that we say in the industry. Maybe going from like a $1,200 rent payment to a $2,000 mortgage payment. It can be overwhelming. So I think it's okay to wait if you need to. It's okay to continue to save and prepare, knowing that your end game will be that you'll get the home. But having good credit, if you've got established credit, making sure you're paying your bills on time, making sure that you're taking care of those responsibilities. If you don't have credit, making sure that it makes sense to buy a home. And again, it's okay to wait if you need to, but there are lenders that can help if you are a first-time homeowner and you don't have any credit. There are programs that are available.
Okay, awesome. Good to know. So going back to kind of some of those steps that we need to follow in this market, you mentioned getting pre-qualified. Now, I've heard pre-qualified versus pre-approved. Is there a difference between the two?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
They're similar.
Okay.
But it's easy to get a little confused, and then there are some differences. And then I think that we see too that between agents and sellers, they tend to like a pre-approval a little more than a pre-qualification.
Okay.
And I'll explain why. So a pre-qualification is a basic review. A lot of times it's a systematic approval going off of some quick touch points. For example, you finish your mortgage application. The system may take a quick look at, what's my credit? What's your payment history been like? Your job history, your income and assets. It uses an algorithm, and a lot of times it'll give you an automated pre-qualification.
Okay.
That can come in minutes, hours, maybe a day. A lot of people like that because they know quickly, okay, I can afford this amount of money. This is what we've been pre-qualified for. Let's go shopping. A pre-approval is a little more extensive.
Okay.
That's typically when a lender will ask for some financial information. They'll want to review your income and credit and a lot of times assets. It's not a full underwrite, but it's a more of an extensive review and does carry a little more weight when you're looking at, again, making an offer. And maybe the buyers and agents want to know, are you pre-qualified or are you pre-approved? A lot of times if you're pre-approved, you've already had your income and assets and credit reviewed. And
Okay.
so it carries a little more weight, and we tend to see contracts accepted when you've gone through the pre-approval process versus pre-qualification.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Carl, thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, and thanks to all of you for joining as well. And we will see you on the next episode of Guiding You Forward.